Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious New Orleans bread pudding with a homemade caramel rum sauce. Now, bread pudding is made and known all over the world, but in the United States, it's more popular and prominent in the New Orleans area and the other southern states. Now, the great thing about this recipe is that you have the option to whether if you want to add, omit, change, or even substitute some of the option ingredients like the rum, the raisin, the pineapple, and the pecans. This recipe calls for about 12 individual servings of bread pudding. Not only is it perfect for holidays or just about any occasion, it's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your New Orleans bread pudding with rum sauce. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need 10 ounces of French bread, and as you can see, this is a New Orleans brand French bread here. And along with that, you will need some sugar, brown sugar, salt, large eggs at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, evaporated milk at room temperature, heavy whipping cream at room temperature, unsalted butter, vanilla extract, butter extract, cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. And for our optional ingredients, you will need some rum. I'm using Bacardi white rum, but you could use other rums like bourbon or whatever. And along with that, you're going to need some raisins and some pecans. I'm using shell pecans, but you can also use the pecan halves as well. Remember, these items are optional if you want to use them or not. And to bake your bread pudding, you will need a regular standard 9 by 13 inch glass or metal pan. And there we have it. All right, let's get straight to it. So we're going to get started by cutting the bread. Into medium-sized cubes, as you can see here. Now once done, you're going to take your bread cubes and you're going to add them into this medium-sized bowl here. All right, so in this small food processor, I'm going to add half a cup of my pecan halves or shell pecans. Now you can also toast your pecans in a preheated 400-degree oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. Don't let them sit in there too long because they'll burn, of course. And I'm gonna just pulse this until it's coarse crumbs. Now if you are not using the pecans, you could just completely omit this step from the recipe. And this took no more than about 10 pulses altogether. All right, let's get started with our pudding mixture. So in this large bowl, add 2 cups of whole milk at room temperature, 1 1/2 cups of evaporated milk at room temperature, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature, 1/3 cup of Bacardi white rum or any rum of your choosing, and make sure that's at room temperature as well. If you're not using rum, you can add an additional 1/3 cup of either the milk, the evaporated milk, or the heavy whipping cream at room temperature. 5 large eggs at room temperature, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 5 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Now I'm going to take my whisk and just stir this until incorporated. All right, now let's add the rest of our ingredients. Add 1 1/4 cups of sugar, 1 1/4 cups of brown sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and for the option ingredients, a 1/2 cup of raisins, a 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. And if you want to add some crushed pineapple in here, you can add about a 1/2 or 2/3 cup of that in here. I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to carefully stir these ingredients together until combined. Now I'm going to add the bread cubes right on in there. Now this is 10 ounces by weight of bread that I'm adding in here. 10 ounces of bread is all you need. So now you just take your hands and just press it down. Now if you're nervous, you could just take a little spoon and just press the bread down on in there, and that'll help absorb all the liquid. Alright, that looks good. Alright, now I'm gonna cover this. And I'm gonna let the bread soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm gonna take some butter and I'm just going to lightly butter the bottom and the sides of my baking pan. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 325 degrees. Before you add it in there, just give it a quick stir to ensure that the raisins and everything is not all settled at the bottom. So just give it a quick stir like that. And from there you can just add it into your baking pan. Just take a spatula and just spread that around. If you want to add any toppings like raisins, pecans, or even sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, you can do so at this time. Now it is ready to be baked. Now I'm going to place this into a preheated 325 degree oven on the bottom rack. Bake this for 45 minutes. Alright, it's been about 45 minutes now for our bread pudding. And as you can see, that's nice and risen. Now let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Now if you tap the top of your pudding and it's jiggly, that lets you know that it is done. You can also do the toothpick test as well. Insert it and it should come out clean. Now you're going to let this cool off until it's warm. Just monitor it, okay? Heat your fire to medium heat. Alright, let's get started with our caramel rum sauce. So in a medium-sized pot, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar and a half a cup of water. Now just give this a quick stir. Let this mixture come to a simmer. Now I'm going to give this one last final quick stir. Let this simmer for 10 minutes or until the mixture turns into an amber-like color. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes now, and as you can see, our mixture is an amber-like color. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of butter extract, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now we'll just give this a quick stir. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of heavy whipping cream and 3 tablespoons of rum. Now you can add as much rum as you like. Now I'm going to give this a quick stir. Turn your fire off. And our caramel rum sauce is now done. Now your mixture will thicken just a little bit more as it cools. If your caramel sauce turns out too thick, you can add more heavy cream or milk as needed and just give it a quick stir. Now I'm gonna let this cool off for about 10 minutes. Now to serve your bread pudding, if you want to serve it like this and cut it, you can take the rum caramel sauce and place it into this squeeze bottle and just pour it on top of each individual piece of bread pudding. Or you can pour the caramel rum sauce directly on top of the bread pudding. Just take a spatula and just spread that around. And from there, your bread pudding is ready to be served. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. But this looks so good, I don't even want it. Woo! Y'all, this is absolutely delicious. The bread pudding is soft, it's moist. You can taste the flavor of the rum, the caramel sauce. It has just the right amount of sweetness. It's not overly sweet at all. And since I added those raisins and pecans, you can taste the flavors of those as well. It's absolutely delicious. So give the recipe a try. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. Now I have an official website for all of my recipes, including this fabulous homemade New Orleans bread pudding with rum sauce. You can go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. I'm also on Facebook and on Instagram under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. So until next time, take care, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.